The Real McCoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he made Kate Mrs. Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Old Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
Coffee's about right this morning.
Thank you, Grandpa. I made it good and strong. You know you always say, why drink a lot of water to get a little coffee?
Hassie coming back for breakfast?
Well, since she spent the night at Sue's, I expect you'll have breakfast there.
Boy, I bet that'll be something. I hear they have butlers and maids and everything.
You know, I ain't so sure it's a good thing for Hassie, being with money people like that.
Why, Grandpa? Sue's a nice girl. It ain't her fault her grandpa's rich. Here they are.
Wow, look at that car.
I've never seen one so big.
Hey, look here, Grandpa. Oh, my. They even got a chauffeur.
Huh. What a hullabaloo. You'd think it was a Queen of Sheba or the Secretary of Agriculture or something.
Well, it is kind of exciting. I don't believe I ever met a millionaire before.
Well, I have. They're just a bunch of stuck-ups. You see one millionaire, you see them all.
I'm gonna take a look at that car.
I would be wearing this old thing.
Oh, that's good enough. This is no time for us to be showing off. We is what we is, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. We just act like we always does. And remember that.
This is Sue's grandpa, Mr. Devereaux.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. It certainly is, sir.
Thank you,
And this is my grandpa. Grandpa, Mr. Devereaux.
More power to you.
Well, it's a pleasure, Mr. McCoy.
Nice to see you, Mr. McCoy.
Thank you.
I hope we haven't dropped in at an inconvenient time.
Oh, no.
No, we were just hanging around waiting for the banks to open.
Would you like a cup of coffee, Mr. Devereaux?
That would be very nice, Mrs. McCoy.
Excuse me. Hassie, you were going to show me your baby chicks, remember?
Oh, that's right. Come on.
Well, certainly a nice home you have here.
Well, thank you. Oh, won't you sit down there on the sofa?
Here you are.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. McCoy.
Thank you, Luke.
Hope it ain't too strong for you.
Well, I'll tell you in a moment. Oh, my, no, this is perfect.
It is?
Yes. I always say, why drink a lot of water to get a little coffee?
Well, I'll be gone.
My housekeeper just can't seem to make it strong enough for me.
Yeah, well, I've been having the same trouble here with mine, you see. The way I feel about coffee is it should be black enough and thick enough so you can either drink it or paint with it.
Oh, that's very good. I'll have to tell my housekeeper about that. You're a man of rare taste, Mr. McCoy.
Well, you know, I'd be rightly proud if you called me Amos.
And I'd be mighty proud if you called me Henry.
Well, thank you, Henry. And if you ain't took up for Friday afternoon, I'd like to have you come over and pitch a few horseshoes.
Well, I'd like that very much, yes. But unfortunately, my business calls for me to go to Europe next week.
To Europe? Well, ain't that exciting?
Yes, and I'm thinking about taking my granddaughter Susan with me.
Is that a fact?
The trip will be an exceptional opportunity for Susan. It will give her a chance to come in contact with the culture of the old world. It'll be a real education for her.
Well, I should say so, indeed.
Well, I suppose I might just as well come to the point. You see, I'd like Hassie to take the trip with us.
To Europe?
Uh-huh. She'll be wonderful company for Sue, and it'll make things much easier for me.
Did you hear that, Grandpa?
Naturally, I haven't mentioned a word of this to Hassie. I wanted to get your approval first.
Well, now that's just about the best thing in the whole world that could ever happen to Hassie.
Yes. I've planned our itinerary so the girls will be learning every minute. First, we'll start off in Paris with the art museums, and then we'll go to Brussels, and then Rome, and then Milan, the opera, La Scala, and we finish in London with the Shakespearean Theater.
Well, I just can't believe it. Paris?
Oh.
London?
Oh, I don't know what to say.
Well, I do. The one thing that's got to be said is Hassie can't go.
How's that, Grandpa?
Well, we live sort of plain like, Henry, and Hassie's been satisfied up to now because it's all she's ever known. But after fancy things and first-class living, why, she ain't going to be happy to come back.
Oh, now, Grandpa, I don't think one little trip is going to change her.
No, it ain't right to give her a taste of something good, Kate, and then drag it away from her.
Oh, but, Grandpa, it'll be educational.
Not much else to be said.
May I make a suggestion? Don't make up your minds right now. Just why don't you think it over for a day or two?
Well, it won't change nothing.
We'll do that, Mr. Devereaux. We'll give it some thought.
Good. Well, I must be off. Lots of things to do to get ready. It's been nice meeting you all, and especially nice sampling your coffee, Mrs. McCoy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Amos.
Goodbye. Where? Are they coming along?
They grow twice as big every day. How'd you like Mr. Devereaux?
Oh, just fine.
Isn't he nice?
Yeah, we had a nice little talk, and he mentioned that he was going on a little trip. He figured to take Sue along with him. And then we had some coffee and...
Where are they going on their trip?
Who?
Sue and her grandfather.
Oh, here and there, just a little no account trip.
Oh, where?
Well, I believe they're going to start off up around Bakersfield and Edgemont and Durham Forest and... Oh, and you know, London, Paris, Rome, and all that sort of thing.
They're going to Europe? How fabulous.
You know, it's just a shame she's going to be gone when all the big doing starts around here. There's the covered dish bean supper at the farm club coming up. And this year, I understand they're going to have a real live accordion player.
Just imagine. Rome.
And next Friday, we're going to that new Italian restaurant in town. Leastwise, there, we won't have no trouble with the drinking water.
Just imagine. That Sue has just about the most wonderful grandfather in the whole world. He sure must love her an awful lot.
Yeah, I reckon so. You know, Hass, if there was one more thing I didn't get a chance to mention. Mr. Devereaux, that is, he asked if it'd be all right if you went along, too.
Me? To Europe?
Yeah, and of course me, I was thinking what's best for you. I was all for it.
You were? Grandpa, I can't believe it. You mean all the places I've read about, Rome and Paris, I'll really get to see them?
Sure you will. In reading about them, you know, well, that's really educational, but seeing them, why, that's culture. It's like all I said, education is just fine, but you just can't hold a candle to culture.
Shoes, too.
I expect you will, Hank. A nice, comfortable pair of walking shoes so you don't get blisters.
Well, I won't be doing that much walking. What I need are some dancing shoes.
Oh, now, come on, Hassie. You know you're not going to get your money's worth out of a pair of shoes just for dancing.
Oh, yes, I will. Sue's going to ask her grandpa if we can take the boat instead of the plane. Oh, there'll be parties all the way over. And Sue says there's just oodles of dreamy college boys on the boat.
But I still think you're going to need some nice low walkers for all them tours to the museums and such.
Museums? Oh, sure, the museum.
Come back, we'll be all painted up. Of course, it ain't like the painting that you'll be seeing over there.
What painting?
Well, them masterpieces in the Paris art galleries.
Oh, those. Well, we're only going to be in Paris a week, so we may have to skip the art galleries. Sue has a cousin who's going to give a reception for us so we can meet some nice boys. Well, there'll be shopping and hairdressers to go to and beauty salons.
Yeah, but them pictures is something you ought to see.
Well, they say you can learn more about a place by meeting and talking with the people.
In hairdressers and beauty salons?
After all, this trip is to have fun, isn't it? and we want to look our best. How's that for a bikini?
It's dreamy. It's almost like mine, except yours has a little more to it.
Your grandfather doesn't know, does he?
You wouldn't understand.
I can hardly wait. The south of France. Do you really think we'll ever have a chance to wear them?
Well, sure we will.
We're only going to be on the Riviera for 3 days, and we're supposed to go on those guided all-day tours.
I already told you. If we can get on a bus, we can get off a bus. Your grandpa. Garçon, l'édition, s'il vous plaît.
Say, it's considerable cooler out on the porch.
We need the light to steady, Grandpa.
Oh,
Would you like to hear us practice our French, Mr. McCoy?
all right. Go ahead, practice it, huh? I'll leave you know if you make some mistakes.
Comment allez-vous, monsieur? Je suis très heureux de vous voir.
What was that you said? Which way to the museum?
So I said, how are you, sir? I'm very happy to meet you.
And then if the boy says, voulez-vous vous promener, that means, would you like to take a walk?
And then we say, oui, oui, ce serait un grand plaisir.
That means get lost? We're looking for the museum?
Oh, oui means yes.
And the rest means it would be a pleasure.
Well, now, how do you ask how to get to the museum?
Grandpa, you're just as bad as Luke. We don't want to spend all our time in the museums. That's for tourists.
Well, what's you two going over as, occupation forces?
Oh, don't fret. Come on, let's practice in the bedroom.
What have you got there?
I don't know, Luke. What do you make it out to be?
It looks like some Kate's sewing scraps.
Well, it's all wrapped up special in the box, dear. And it can't be pot holders because the cloth's too thin.
Oh, well, Grandpa, if it come in a box, it's probably something Hassie bought for a trip. Well, more than likely, that's a little hair bonnet.
Oh, that's what it is. That's what they wear to bed at night, see? Because they place of the ears.
What's keeping you two?
Oh, we were just coming along. We were looking at Hassie's new hair bonnet.
That's not a hair bonnet. Claire.
What is it?
Well, this here's part of a bikini bathing suit.
Part of a bathing suit? Which part? The belt?
No, it's not the belt. It's, this here's the whole suit.
Well, you mean that is the entire...
And she wears this right out in public? Well, it looks like not only is she going to see a lot of Europe, but Europe's going to see a lot of her.
I just don't know what to say.
Well, I think this here says something that we all been trying not to say. You know, it's plain from talking to Hassie that the culture part of this here trip is furthest thing from her mind.
That's true, Grandpa, but it's only natural at her age.
I ain't denying that it's natural. I'm only saying that since she is at that age, she ain't ready to appreciate a trip like this.
I expect Grandpa's right, Kate.
But what about Mr. Devereaux? He's counting on Hassie going along.
Well, that can't be helped. It's the way us McCoys handles things. When we know something ain't right, we come out and say so. And this ain't right. And we should let Mr. Devereaux know right off tonight.
Well,
It's going to be rough on Hassie, but it's the best thing.
All right, let's go.
Grandpa, I have to stay here with little Luke. He ain't been feeling too well.
Then we'll go, Luke, huh?
Oh, well, I think maybe you better tell Mr. Devereaux. I mean, after all, you're the head of the family.
All right, never mind. Then I'll go myself. I'll call and say I'm a-coming.
I sure hope we're doing the right thing.
Well, we sure are. I'm all for exposing of the culture, but not this much exposing.
Now then, Mrs. Cartwright, let's get back to this. You say you found this in Susan's room, hmm?
That's right.
Well, how do we know it's hers?
Well, it certainly isn't mine.
No, I can see that.
I don't suppose it's my place to say this, but Mr. Devereaux, your granddaughter sees this trip a lot differently than you do.
Well, I hadn't anticipated any problems. I had planned to take care of my business while the girls went on the guided, supervised bus tours in every city, you know.
If you can get on a bus, you can get off a bus.
Oh, well, that's for sure. Anybody. What do you mean?
That's what they're thinking.
I suppose I should seriously consider putting this trip off. But what can I say to the McCoys? I'm awfully glad you dropped by. Give us a chance to talk about the trip.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Hassie still wants to go, doesn't she?
Oh, sure, she wants to go, all right.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Sue, I guess she's ready to go, too, ain't she?
Sue? Who's... Oh, yes, Sue. Yes, she's all set.
Yeah, well, I'm glad about that. But, Henry, I want you to know that we do appreciate this wonderful offer.
Before you go any further, there's something I'd like to say.
Well, excuse me, Henry. If you don't mind, I think I should ought to say what I got to say first. We've been sort of talking this over at the house, and we sort of decided that Hassie shouldn't go along.
So you don't want Hassie to go?
Well, I know it's terrible upsetting to your plans, and I know it's terrible disappointing to you, but, well, Hassie just ain't of age yet.
Oh, this is wonderful.
What's that?
Well, I've been trying to think of some way to tell you the same thing. I don't think the girls should make the trip.
Well, I'll be goddamned. You mean it?
Absolutely. A lot of things convinced me, Amos, but what finally did it was this. Now, I don't know what influenced you about Hassie, but,
Two of them almost makes a bathing suit.
I guess I believe that's mine. Thank you. I can't tell you how relieved I feel that we see things the same way.
Well, I'm glad we do, too, Henry.
Then it's all set. The girls stay at home.
Yeah, I think it's best. Well, I better be getting on back to the house.
All right, Amos. And you can tell the girls the trip is off.
Me tell them?
Well, yes, it'd be more convenient for you. They're at your house.
Well,
somebody has to break the news to them.
But, Henry, I figured seeing as how you was going along with them, that you should ought to tell them.
Well, I would be glad to. But it seems to balance things more. Since I was the one to invite them, you could be the one to call it off, see?
Well, all right, I'll explain to them that you changed your mind and you want to take them along with you.
Oh, no. Maybe I'd better go along with you.
Well, no, you don't have to, but I don't know. I'm not taking
Oh, Grandpa, I didn't hear you drive up.
Evening, Mr. Devereaux.
Good evening, Mrs. McCoy.
Evening.
Well, it seems Mr. Devereaux feels the same way we do about it. He's going to call off the trip.
Oh, thank heaven for that.
Say, how's it look?
Well, I was about to tell you. The doctor just left. He's got the chicken pox.
Chicken pox?
Ain't that terrible?
I've got to get into him. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, my. That's too bad about the boy.
Yeah, I guess he won't be able to go to the bean supper with us. Chicken pox is awful contagious.
Yeah, sure is that. A body with the chicken pox, sure, they just can't go no place.
Is that so? Well, shall we get to the business at hand? Where are the girls?
Oh, they're back in Hassie's room.
Hold on. Could be we don't have to say a thing. Could be we don't have to disappoint the girls at all.
What do you mean, Amos?
Well, little Luke's got the chicken pox, ain't he?
Yes.
And he's Hassie's blood sister, and she's sleeping right in the next room to him. Now, well, if we was lucky, she could get herself infected.
Grandpa! How can you wish a thing like that on your own granddaughter? Besides, she's already had the chicken pox.
I don't wish nothing on nobody. What do you think I am, anyways? You sure she can't have it again?
Yes, I'm sure.
How about Sue?
Oh, well, I wouldn't even consider the possibility.
Oh, she's had it too?
Yes, she has.
There ain't nothing much we can do but just march in and break the news.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Henry? You first.
Oh, no, after you.
Guest is always first. No, that's Luke's room. Girls is in there.
And we'll have oodles of fun with my grandfather. He's just about the sweetest man in the world.
You sure are lucky to have a grandfather like that.
Your grandpa can't come, too.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him something awful.
Amos, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, you gotta tell him sometime.
Well, maybe not. There comes a time in every man's life when he must make a decision. And when that time comes, he must act promptly and decisively.
What are you getting at?
One fact has not been mentioned. Namely, I haven't had chicken pox.
No, you can't do it.
Amos, what must be done must be done.
I won't listen to it.
It's a far, far better thing I do than I could have done in there. You'll come to visit me, won't you?
Every day.
Where's Mr. Devereaux?
He's in there, in Luke's room.
What?
You know, he's got a lot more gumption than I give him credit for. And you know, Luke, if Henry Devereaux had a little less money, why, he'd almost make a real McCoy.